It is as one famous Brazilian once said. Ninguém vai sofrer sozinho. Todo mundo vai sofrer. I'm not okay.
Good morning, Booksternet. Today it is Saturday, the 12th of September. I am starting a vlog to see if I can pick up a little bit of reading this week because I am in a bit of a reading slump. So my plans for the week are to finish The Poppy War. Yes, finally. I will finally pick up The Poppy War. But before we do that, I actually have to edit my August wrap-up that is going up tomorrow. And I also have to play The Witcher. Yeah, those are my plans for the day. And before I go to bed, I'm gonna read The Poppy War. But yeah, catch up with you guys later. I've been trying to edit my video for the entire fucking day. And I even bought a software for editing. And it wasn't cheap. It was an Adobe Premiere Pro, which was what I would like to, but it's like inhumanly expensive in Brazil. But I bought one for something that wasn't cheap, but it was reasonable and feasible, and the thing just doesn't fucking work, and the support system of the software is fucking garbage. I mean, the thing crashes, and not only crashes, it crashes my entire computer with it. Once again, I am not having a great day. I think this is going to be how all of my vlogs are going to start, because I'm just not having a great day. It's being like fucking hell trying to get the thing to work. So I can't log onto Amazon and download The Poppy War that I bought already, but I can't because I don't have the app on my phone and I actually need to access it on my computer. So I'm just gonna read 100 Years of Solitude and do that. And as soon as my computer boots up, because it's not booting up, as soon as my computer does that, I am just going to play The Witcher because I'm tired. Anyway, whatever. So I was on page 41 of this book and I am already on page 105 because like the reading flows so easily. The writing style is amazing, and also, by the way, this edition that I have, the translation, was authorized by Gabriel Garcia Marquez himself, so it's pretty accurate to the Spanish edition, besides being absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, look at that. Anyways, it's very interesting because it follows this entire family, and as Latin Americans, it's important that you guys know that sometimes we don't exactly know our family history or our heritage. It all gets kind of lost to time, and it's interesting in this book that he is telling the story of a family, and that story will be forgotten eventually. So it's actually a very interesting commentary on that, and you know, who those people were and how this actually becomes, to use the Kurt Vonnegut words, unstuck in time. So it's actually pretty interesting and very fascinating. Another thing that this book also makes it pretty clear, first things first, there's a lot of incest in this. So, you know, I was talking shit about Cassandra Clare, but it's a whole bunch of incest in here. But it's less creepy. It's just another thing that is also very important that Gabriel Garcia Marquez makes sure that we all know, that all the men in this book have huge dicks. It's adamant that you realize that all the men have very fucking big dicks. So just throwing that one out there. It's late, it's almost 1 a.m., but I finally managed to get my computer to work. Yes, because I went to technical school and, you know, I got depression out of it, but I also got some computer savviness. So I just finished editing my August wrap-up, and it's going to be up tomorrow, so I'm pretty happy. Also, I did my nails, and I absolutely hated this color, but my nails look like they are made of acrylics, or they are like those fake nails that you glue on. I forgot the name, but press-ons. They look like press-ons, but these are my actual natural nails. Anyway, I am going to decide if I'm going to play a little bit of The Witcher or if I'm going to head straight to bed, but in any cases, I'm not going to do any more reading today. So, see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, the 13th of September. My hair looks wild, and today we're going to attempt to cut it myself. So, you know. My dad is also coming over. He's doing some barbecue, which is also interesting. As for reading for the Sunday, not sure how this is going to go. I actually have to do quite a lot of stuff today, including putting up a video. So I have to clean my room and the bathroom, and then I have to do the dishes because I had a little bit of wine with my mom yesterday, so we did a little bit of mess. But anyways, if I do a little bit of reading, it's gonna be 100 Years of Solitude again. I still haven't downloaded the Poppy War. I swear, I will download the Poppy War. I swear, I will. But anyways, we are in my bathroom to talk about this. Okay, I'm going to insert here a curl chart pattern. As you can see from this chart, my hair is a 3B type of curl. I haven't cut my hair in a year, and I said that I would never cut my hair again, but you know, the pandemic struck and things just happened. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wash this thing, and once it's wet, I'm gonna cut it. So stay tuned. By the way, here's a quick lesson on why you should never dry brush curly hair, because when you do, it turns something like this. It does not. It's not good. Not good. Jesus Christ. Look at the side of the thing. Hair wash, and you can see shrinkage is real. What I'm going to do, I'm going to section my bangs because this is not a bang. I'm going to section my bangs, I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to split my hair in twos, and I'm going to cut it back. There are two ways in which you can do that. One way that I did when my hair used to be really, really long, that was to pull all of your hair forward, like tie it up on a bun and cut it. That is called a unicorn technique, but with the length that my hair is now, that is not going to work out pretty well. So now that I cut my hair and I trimmed a little bit, I'm gonna style it, and once it's dry, I'm gonna come with the shears and I'm gonna cut like odd curls out. So, to style the hair. Update, I ate a lot. I ate a lot. My video is uploading, so while my video uploads, I'm gonna get a little bit more reading done. And yeah, this is what's happening. Reading update, I am on page 145. The thing about this book is that you can't just read like all in the same sitting. Like you have to read. I'm like a third of the book in, I think. I think the book has, yes, okay. So I'm roughly a third in, and I actually have to sit down and
think about this. I have to let this simmer because otherwise I don't think I'll understand what's going on. So I'm gonna play The Witcher. I'm playing Witcher. Fuck. I'm probably gonna do a video about this. The Witcher is the only media that I know where there is an adaptation. And the adaptation was made from a book to a game. And the game is surreal. The game is surreal. And there is this one quest in the game, Ladies of the Woods. This quest always fucks me up. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just so pissed. Look, Ladies of the Woods is the masterpiece of Witcher storytelling. And Ladies of the Woods, you have two choices. The both are mutually exclusive, and the outcomes of both of them are fucking awful. It's just awful. It's so bad. It's so bad. The thing is that when you're playing the video game, you can't actually choose the outcome. And I think that evokes some sort of feeling because you know that no matter the outcome, the result will be terrible, but it's kind of like you assume a sense of responsibility over that. And I feel like when you're reading a book, you know, you feel your heart being blown into smithereens and you're dying and etc. But there is not that feeling of, oh my god, I can't believe I did this. Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic actually. Like when you take books and etc. And there's also a lot about world building that is also very interesting because in books you have to dose world building very well. But in games, you can just throw as much world building as you want because you want the game to be realistic, right? This feeling that you yourself personally made a choice that has awful consequences, I don't think can be emulated in a book. And I would really love to see books become video games more because I feel like that offers a great potential for storytelling. Anyways, guys, I'm just freaking out over The Witcher. I can't believe I hate Ladies of the Woods. I love it, but I hate it. I found Trish. Good afternoon, Booksternet. It is Monday the 14th of September. Is this a reading update? It is. I thought yesterday that I thought on Saturday actually that I had bought the Poppy War, but apparently I hadn't. But I just bought the Poppy War and I made the mistake of checking if the book started alright. Yeah. First impressions, right off the bat. The book begins with the scene of Rin taking the test, and that for me was oddly reminiscent because in Brazil you have like SATs, but it's like you only get into college with your SATs, and in Brazil it's called Enem. You know, we didn't have to take off our clothes and etc., but we had to go through metal detectors and severe searching and all of it, so it was very interesting. I have to work today. Not much, to be quite honest, but I do have a little bit of bureaucratic stuff to solve, and I also have class, and I also want to play The Witcher, so I'll probably read more only at night. But yeah, this book is going to ruin me, I can already tell. Heyo, everybody! Reading update. I am once again playing The Witcher and I'm about to find Jaskier and I'm so happy, and Jaskier actually has the medieval equivalent of a bullet journal, which for me only, you know, the woman just said that Geralt took Dandelion or Jaskier. out whoring, which is hilarious to me. But anyways, I'm about to find Yasker, and Yasker slash Dandelion is one of my absolute favorite characters in this game, and the fact that he owns the medieval equivalent of a bullet journal actually just establishes to me that he is a bisexual disaster, and I'll have it no other way, you know. Yasker is bi, and so is Geralt, and I will take no criticism on this matter. You can come at me, gamer boys. Your faves are bi. Deal with it. As surprising as that might be, The Witcher as a game is actually a pretty fun game. It's actually pretty hilarious. But everything that has to do with Dandelion is so good, because Geralt is like the type of man who can, you know, jump into a nest of monsters and kill every single one of them. And, you know, puts himself and talks down to the Emperor of Nilfgaard. But just as soon as Dandelion is up to his shit, Geralt is so out of his depth. It's so good. It's so good. This man is a monster killing machine. He's a bloody murderer. And he listens to dirty poetry and he's like, oh my god, what do I do? It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god.
I don't have to speak really closely because my ceiling fan is on. Blinked. It's 2 a.m. and I am done with 30% of the Poppy War. What the fuck? I know the Poppy War is based on a very specific moment of Chinese history. However, I cannot stop myself from identifying with Rin so much because of whoa, dude, the test that she takes to get into the school and then study into the school, and now I'm at the part where she goes to Kitte's house. It's just like, what would I have been if I had been born into this sort of wealth, knowing exactly everything that would have happened in the country because my family is that important, and passing into the academy was like a pleasant surprise. This is so surreal, like just as like passing to the academy is like a pleasant surprise. When I went to college, and I went to a very prestigious college, it was so much like that, because like my family was middle class. We had a couple of financial issues, but I was always given the time to study, and I always thought that it was enough until I got into university, and then there were people in my class who had airplanes, and that was normal, and getting into the university was just the same thing that their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents have done. And I don't even know the name of my great-grandparents because they were slaves, they were lost. This is so surreal. This book is wild. This book is wild. I have to go to bed. Holy shit. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. I'm taking a wild guess here. The 15th of September. I'm having my coffee. And I tried to braid my hair because sometimes when you cut your hair looks wild and nasty, which was my case this time. So try to braid it. Am I happy with it? No, but it's what we're having today. As was saying, Brazil é o que tem pra hoje. I have thoughts about the Poppy War. I freaked out yesterday because of the Poppy War. It happens, but I wanted to address like two things that I've seen in the discourse, that it looks like Harry Potter or that it looks like the Name of the Wind. I won't even address the Harry Potter one because it's pretty obvious that it's very different. But I could see why people would think that this is kind of similar to the Name of the Wind. The Name of the Wind, you follow this young man called Quote. You know, he's too special to have a normal name. And he goes to this magical school and he instantly excels in everything because he's a huge ass Mary Sue. If you have no critical sense whatsoever, you would definitely think that it's the case with Rin. But R.F. Kuang goes to great lengths to show that Rin's success isn't because she's better, isn't because she's inherently better, and everything that happens and she's the underdog, not because
people just took one look at her and hated her instantly. There's a whole cultural context behind Rin being hated, behind Rin being discriminated against. And her success comes out of an effort that is self-destroying. A need to study, a need to better that is self-destroying. Something that I know intimately. That's where the comparison stops, because I think it's disrespectful to the Poppy War to say that. As I await for my work PC to boot up this time, I thought about something while I was showering, and I want to share with the class. I feel like it's interesting because when you read a book like The Poppy War that is so heavily influenced by a certain culture and a certain history, concrete, actual, factual history, I think white people specifically have been saying this quite a lot, that you don't identify with that because this is not your story and this is not your struggle. But I'm Brazilian, and Brazil, I think the last war Brazil went to the Second World War, but it was like not much, not look at this bullshit. It was really not that impactful. But Brazil really had a very bloody history. Brazilian slavery was particularly brutal, as I've mentioned, and Brazilian history has been full of, persecution, torture, and discrimination and lots of things. And I think there is something inherently human about experiences of resistance and experience of resisting oppression in a way. And I'm talking about this because there's this one moment in the book where Young, he explains to Rin where did the martial arts come from. And it's very beautiful because actually there is a clear influence of South Asian cultures in that part as well, which I thought was a really interesting nod. But at the same time, he says, look, they were forbidden to use weapons, so they had to adapt this to be something that was deadly and lethal. And this is so similar to one of Brazil's things called capoeira. Capoeira was developed as a martial art that is... Can you hear that? I don't know if you can. That's a monkey on my roof. But capoeira was developed to Brazil... For Brazilian slaves, by Brazilian slaves, to... I have to change my arm. It's hurting. To actually be able to defend themselves from slave owners, but they disguised it as a sort of dance, and that's why there's music, and that's why it looks like something of a dance, something artistic or whatnot, when in fact a well-aimed capoeira kick can and will land people in the hospital. So I think it's interesting how we can see that there are experiences of resistance and experiences of trying to survive that are wholly universal because they're fully human. And when you can't identify with that, it really shows that you've never been on the side of the oppressed. And I think that speaks a lot about the type of person that, people who say this are. Anyways. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 16th of September. Someone decided that they want to stay in my lap the entire day today. So, am I working? No, I'm just here petting my dog. Anyways, I did a little bit of reading yesterday only. Today, if I manage to finish my job... Oh, you want to go down now? You want to go down now? No. After finishing... being done with work, I plan on playing The Witcher, and I also plan on... What the f... O que você tá fazendo, cara? and then I plan on reading more of the Poppy War. I don't know where he wants from me, so yeah, I'll check with you guys later once I'm actually doing some reading. Bye. Reading update. I am 36% in the Poppy War, and now I've reached the part where she and Jang are studying together. And actually, it's quite interesting because this is actually a really interesting commentary on studying and what study is for. Because up until this moment, Rin has been memorizing stuff. And, you know, studying is like cramming and memorizing things. And that's why people like Kitei do so much better, because they're able to retain information that well. And when she starts learning with Jang, Jang teaches her how to have critical thinking and how to put two informations together and to fill in the gaps and draw comparisons and understand what might not be real and what might be real, and you know how things might be interpreted. And it's actually pretty interesting because it reminds me a lot of humanities. Humanities have been slowly pushed to the back burner, not only in Asian countries, but I think all over the world. Brazil specifically, like the government hates humanities, but humanities are the ones in which you have to have critical thinking in order to understand what is happening. This is actually pretty cool. Like the commentary on that. I hope Jang doesn't disappoint me. I don't trust anyone in this book. I don't even trust Rin, but I sure hope he doesn't disappoint me because I really like him. I like teachers and professors who are interested and invested into opening a student's mind, because that's the type of professor I want to be. I am full on essay writing mode. So this book is way on its path of a 5-star because this is pretty good. This is pretty good. It is 3 a.m. I just finished with the Poppy War.
Who needs a Birkin bag? When the Poppy War will give you this. Look. I can store all of my tat in these. Holy shit. Good morning. Now that I have showered, and I have an inordinate amount of coffee, let's talk the Poppy War, shall we? Where the fuck do we begin? When we as a society, we are so heavily influenced by American media production as a whole. And I'm talking American books, American movies, American TV shows or whatnot. We always look at war through like some rose-colored glasses, you know. It's always very clear cut, and there's a good side and there's a bad side. And there are acts of heroics, and the soldiers are all heroes and etc. And it's interesting that this is so heavily influenced by the Second World War, because the Second World War became the example of something that we call total war. Total war is a war that respects no boundaries and that uses all weapons and that attacks all targets. Everyone becomes a part of the war effort. And this is what happened mostly in the Second World War. But that kind of began in the First. So when the Republic, the Federation, you know, in the Poppy War uses mustard gas, because the gas that they used is mustard gas. I mean, especially when they say that they went to the West and to find war techniques and stuff, it's mustard gas. When they use mustard gas, they attack civilians, they attack, you know, hospitals and places of trade. All of this was outlawed after Second World War in treaties and the UN and etc. And it was because this was already done. So this makes me think, like, okay,
what really happened in the wars, you know? And I know what really happened. I've studied this before, but I think this book, I think R.F. Kuang, just like, oh, you think war is about saving Private Ryan and acts of heroics and crying because you can't see your child or whatever, and then there's Captain America and whatnot. Listen, bitch, war is a fucking hell. It comes to a point where there is no difference between the good guys and the bad guys, and it's just the things that you will do because a total war escalates everything. So, you know, difficult. I am a bit hungover. I'm a bit hungover. I do have the Black Flamingo in audiobook, and I should listen to that today. But honest to God, like, my brain's just mush. If I do anything today, will be play The Witcher. But war is terrible. Good day. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 18th of September, and I'm looking a whole lot better today because I actually had 12 hours of sleep. What the fuck? Guess what, bitch? Reading until 3 a.m. doesn't give you a full night of rest. Who would have thought that? Anyways, if you hear yelling in the background, that's my mom going through it. I am not going to do any more reading today because I have a Skype call with my friends. So I thought that I would do a small wrap up of what I've done this week, what I've read this week, and my impressions of my reading week. So we begin today with 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Book, edition, cover, stunning. It's hardcover, but it's soft. I don't know how you call that, but it's kind of like pillowy. I'm not sure. I read roughly 30% of this book. I'm just eyeballing it here. I read 150 pages so far. If my life had a motto, it would be, it will come back to bite you in the ass. Because in my last vlog, I was talking about incest. And guess what Gabriel Garcia Marquez thought it was interesting to put in this book? A whole bunch of incest. And it's interesting to the story that he's trying to tell. However, it's unsettling. It's unsettling. All the time that I come across something that borders on the lines of incest, I'm like, whoa! So far, this is a pretty interesting read. However, 100 Years of Solitude is a book that uses metaphors and themes very heavily. So I need time to read this, sit on it, simmer on it, and just then have an idea. So far, it's a pretty easy reading, but every once in a while, I have to stop reading, put this book aside a little bit, and just think a lot about what I'm reading. I think I'll probably be done with this by the end of the month, but so far I'm liking it a lot. The second thing that I read this week, and I'm gonna count it as a reading update because not only I played it, I watched the series and I went back to the books, was play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I'm currently at the point where I'm in Novigrad and I have to find Dandelion or Jaskier, as you may call. What I love about The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is that it's a prime example of good writing in a video game. And it alerted me to the fact that video game has a potential for storytelling, like I said, that is very difficult to come across in books, that you have responsibility over the turn of events of the story. But the Witcher game, you actually have quite a lot of control over what happens in the story. And sometimes the choices are pretty easy and sometimes the choices are fucking awful. And I just hate myself all the time. And I think that feeling, it's a very interesting sort of storytelling technique that books don't really have. Also, the Witcher game fixes a lot of issues with the world building and storytelling. The only thing that I don't like about The Witcher so far is that I'm stuck with Triss Merigold, and every time that I have to look to her face, I feel like I just want a mod where I can punch her. So this was the second thing that I did this week. And the third thing that I read was read The Poppy War, which I did in 2 days. And went sleep deprived in the meantime. I absolutely loved A Poppy War. It's pretty interesting, and I've read a couple of reviews saying that the author isn't quite so clearly against genocide, and Rin is sometimes hailed as a hero. But then again, like I said on Twitter, it's the Poppy War, not the puppy fucking strolled through the park. And I think Rin is not a hero.
and she was never written to be a hero. I think Rin was written to be a cautionary tale, and that is why I think she will not survive the Popular War trilogy. And I think the Phoenix, rather than be in a magic system, and I saw a lot of people being like, oh, but the Phoenix doesn't make any sense. Dude, the Phoenix is not a magic system, okay? The Phoenix is a metaphor. It's a metaphor about hatred, about resentment, about anger, and about revenge. And throughout the story, people warn her that you cannot give into this sort of resentment, anger, and rage. And war, as a real entity, has no good sides and no bad sides. And there are no heroes. There are only winners and survivors. And I think that's a very interesting food for thought that we should have when we're thinking about war and conflicts as general. This book is incredible. I loved it, but I will need a little bit of time to settle down before I can go back into this universe, because it is very triggering. And I'm not really easily triggered, but it is very triggering. So I need some time to kind of settle down in this universe, in this world building, in this story, before I can come back to it safely and appreciate the story for what it is. Right now, I can't. Yesterday, I was like garbage because the story really disturbed me, and I really need some time to take it easy. Anyways, this was my weekly vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys saw my mental decline, and I hope that everyone who's reading The Popular War and has read The Popular War, please take care of your mental health. It's a great book, but we also need to be careful with it. So yeah, this is my vlog, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!